Wheat productions are at record levels. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee because we're going to talk about some ABS data about agricultural commodities, and wheat production is actually at a record level. Now I know this isn't exciting, but remember last year there was lots of discussion, lots of fear in the media about food shortages. Now if we have a look here, this is Google Trends. You can see, if we go back to, when was it? March 22, food shortages was really trending. You can see here the places in the world where it's right up. Zimbabwe, 100%. Oh, that's kind of sad. It might actually be a problem there. But you can see here in Canada, United States, Australia, New Zealand, Russia, and Western Europe. Not in China though. We go, let's do the past 5 years. Let's look at the past 5 years to see how often this is appearing. There you go, look, there's a bit of a spike in 2020. And we have it again in 2020 again, and then boom, 2021. It was huge. It really went up there. And again, the same countries. Except for Russia. Russia's disappeared now in the past 5 years. It's all Germany, France, Spain, Canada, United States, Australia, South Africa, and India. Zimbabwe, again, right at the top, which is a little concerning. But you can see here, guys, this has been a regular thing that's been in the media. A lot of fear, a lot of concern, a lot of people worried about food shortages. You got people like influencers even selling kits, like food kits, all seed oil-filled crap that'll probably give you cancer that you shouldn't eat. But, they're pandering to the fear that people have. And I can understand and I can appreciate people having to store food long term. Because, I lasted, 3 days before I succumbed to the fantastic cheese that my child was eating in front of me. But you need to at least expose yourself to fasting so you're not completely terrified at the prospect of not eating, so then you don't fall for all the bloody articles from the ABC. But still, this is a constant thing. And I think a lot of it is just fear, it's doom, it's to get people to buy like some prepper kit of crap, really. But here in Australia, I don't think it's something we need to worry about. My concern is that access to good quality, healthy food, particularly animal products, is going to become prohibitively expensive for those who are in a lower socioeconomic band. That's my worry, and they'll be eating a whole lot of rubbish that won't be good for them. But see, let's look at this here. So, statistics on the production of principal agricultural commodities, including cereal and broadacre crops. I mean, even the wheat, you can still feed it to cows, guys. Turn it into something fit for human consumption. Because bread ain't... I love my bread, don't get me wrong, but when you reach middle age, lads, you got to give that up, okay? That's a luxury. You can't be eating that anymore. So agricultural land is down 5%. Wheat production is up 14%. Canola production is up 43%. That's a bit concerning. Sheep, lambs on farms are up 3%. Fantastic. And beef cattle is just up 1%. It's still an increase. Remember, we had the bushfires. These livestock needs to rebuild, and hopefully we get more. We want 50 million beef cattle. Like, get beef dirt cheap for every Aussie so we can eat it with every meal. So reduced set of area and production stats, okay. So as the 30th of June 2022, there were 369 million hectares of agricultural land, down 5% from 2021. 87,800 agricultural businesses are unchanged from 2020. The ongoing La Nina weather cycle during 21-22 resulted in a mixed season for Australia's broadacre crop producers in the eastern states. Flooding across areas of New South Wales and Queensland from November to December 21 affected the growth and harvesting of many winter crops, while summer crops such as rice and cotton benefited from greater access to water for irrigation. Western Australia experienced improved soil moisture levels and highly favourable growing conditions during 21-22, resulting in a bumper harvest for the state's broadacre crops. WA is just kicking goals, isn't it? They're keeping the country going with their iron ore. We're hoovering up all their GST, and they're feeding us. We better not let them secede, hey? Increases in the price of oilseed crops such as canola saw businesses reduce their area sown to cereal crops, and the area of barley down 7% and oats down 21%. So sugarcane, 28.7 million tons produced, are down 8%. I'd say, you know how there's all the bitching and moaning and fear about all the coal that Australia exports, and it's the big bad evil. I'd say the diabetes we're causing on the world with this is probably worse. Barley, 14.3 million tons, down 2%. Sorghum, 2.6 million tons, up 62%. Okay, oats down 9%, and rice up 63%. Australia's wheat production increased 14% to a new record of 36 million tonnes in 21-22, driven by a 47% jump in West Australia's harvest. An 8% increase in the area sown in wheat in Western Australia, combined with favourable timing of rainfall and mild spring conditions, resulted in a record high crop yields and 13 million tonnes of wheat produced. South Australia also experienced a favourable season, with production up 19% to 4.8 million tonnes. New South Wales experienced heavy rain across the entire state's wheat-growing belt at the beginning of the harvest, contributing to a 7% decrease in production, down to 12 million tonnes. And we can see here Western Australia, they're shooting right up. South Australia, yeah, I mean, they're up, but they're down from 2016. New South Wales, look at that dip that we had there. So there you go. Looks like we're returning to normal, if not better than normal. Canola. Increases in the price of oilseed crops. I was watching a talk by Dr. Paul Mason just about seed oils and how the theory he's put forward that it is a contributor to blood clots that cause heart disease. So check it out if you haven't as well. This stuff should only be used for chainsaw oil and for mechanical devices. We shouldn't be eating this shit. We should not be eating it. So, I mean, you can't blame people for growing it because they sell it to make money. Resulted in more businesses sowing canola in 21-20, up 12%, and existing producers increasing their area sown. Australia's total area sown to canola rose 24% to 3.3 million hectares in WA, the country's largest producer, increasing its area 28% to 1.5 million hectares. The increased area sown to canola and favourable growing conditions, especially in Western Australia, resulted in a production record of 6.8 million tonnes, up 43%. So there you go. That's... boy. Cotton. During the 21-22, the area sown to cotton almost doubled, up 99% to 549,000 hectares, driven by favourable cotton prices and forecasts of favourable weather conditions. Significant rainfall across cropping regions of eastern Australia, recharged on-farm water storage, and increased water availability for irrigated cotton. This, combined with ideal growing conditions, resulted in increased yields and a record 1.3 million tonnes of cotton lint harvested. And there you go. So cotton is right back up. We need clothing, guys. We need to export cotton. I know everyone... well, not everyone, but there's a push away from cotton because of the large water usage. But if people are capturing and storing the water, horticultural crops. After experiencing record high production levels in 2021, horticultural crop producers experienced a mixed season in 21-22, with production levels returning to normal for many. The second year of La Niña conditions resulted in above average rainfall and lower available spring temperatures. New South Wales and Queensland producers were affected by floods in late 21, while South Australian and Victorian producers experienced destructive hailstorms in January 22. Almond producers experienced a better season with favourable weather conditions, greater access to water for irrigation, and a successful pollination period, resulting in a 10-year record high for almond productions. And here are the key results. Grapes down 27%, potatoes down 13%, oranges down. This is why it's getting more expensive. Apples up 5%, bananas down 19%, and almonds up 6%. Livestock. A continuation of favourable weather conditions saw beef producers continuing to rebuild their herds, but flooding across areas of New South Wales and Queensland from November to December 21 resulted in some stock losses. Nationally, the beef herd increased 1% to 22.3 million head at the 30th of June 22. Of the largest producing states, Queensland increased 2% to 10.8 million head. New South Wales increased 5% to 4.4 million head, and Victoria increased 3% to 2.2. So there you go. So they're rebuilding. Still a bit of room to go. It's making me hungry, guys. I shouldn't be recording these videos before I had dinner. I'm bloody hungry. Dairy cattle. Dairy cattle numbers continue to decline as producers either scale back dairy operations, sell their farms, or move into beef cattle production. The national dairy herd decreased 10% to 2.1 million head at the 30th of June 22. New South Wales was the only state to report an increase, up 3% to 291,700 head. Of the main dairy-producing states, Victoria reported an 11% increase, an 11% decrease to 1.3 million head, while Tasmania decreased 3% to 299,300 head. Yeah, dairy's just getting a hammering. I think a lot of them can't make any money, and it's just not feasible to do. Sheep and lamb. Australia's sheep flock increased 3% to 70.2 million sheep, lamb, and lambs to 30th of June. Increases in New South Wales flock are up. Yep, so we'll have a look there. That's up. Fantastic, guys. So that's the data that we have there. So let's have a bit of a talk about this one. So, wait a minute. No, wait, I got to do the intro thing. That's called a stinger, by the way, in the business. So there we have it, guys. Food is, well, still safe, still abundant, and we've had record crops for wheat. Even the beef herd, the cattle, is lifting up again. So what's worrying is so much bloody seed oil is being grown. Maybe we need more of an education campaign about that. But then again, the government isn't even up to date with that yet. So all of the fear that we saw, all of the headlines pushing this food shortages, all the people selling you their bloody prepper kits, you've got to take it with a grain of salt, everyone. Well, probably a handful of salt. Put over a nice crunchy, nice or crispy steak with nice shallots chopped up on the side there and a bit of butter melting on. I need to go have dinner, guys. But we saw it again and again. Just fear in the media, bad food shortages. It hasn't materialized. Food's getting more expensive. Food's going to be harder to buy. But, don't be letting the fear manipulate you into buying seed oil laden crap that's just going to kill you. Maybe learn how to store food for long term using more traditional methods, salting your beef, drying it, things like that before you start going, buying bloody pallets of crap. Anyway, you can tell I'm frustrated with these things. As always, thanks for watching. Check out my other channels, Heise Beam and Heise Does, if you're interested in other content I create. And if you're a fan of the channel and want to support us, you can financially on YouTube or Patreon, using our referral links, buying our pocket squares, or calling us if you need an architect. Take care, guys. Have a great day. And I'll see you in the next episode of HeiseSays. Bye for now. Yeah, I'm really hungry now. Why did I make this my last video I do tonight? Talking about bloody food. I need to get dinner.